So there's Beastie up on the lift. It's pretty nerve-wracking to the first-time viewer. It's obviously not level, but it's what we have to do to get it off the ground with the floor and all of that. So started to end up doing little sills, which basically fail. I'll have to go through and redo those, but they work for now, so I'll leave it alone. And then on the upper floor here, a little bit lower tack solution. Shove a block between the lift and the factory jack point. Works great. You can kind of get a peek what the aero's doing. Next, something I don't think I've shown is the whole floor package on this thing, which is not insignificant. So I use a lot of titanium in my wings. It's strong and light, and it works well with carbon fiber. A new addition to Gridlife was these plates, which doubled as skid plates, which I have little vertical scrapers. Yeah, those are gone on both of them. So that was fun. Otherwise, those never touched below that. And then the big sparkler effects are out here, which this one actually wore through. So basically I have to pull this off and weld the new one on. Weld the new plate here. Keep it simple. Let it do what it's supposed to do, which is save the carbon. This side definitely hit too, but it's not through yet. Otherwise, other fun things are, you can see what the mud is doing after I ran it pretty much off the road. Ah, there we go. You can see what the wind's doing underneath the car here. Look at that, right out the middle. It's a thing of beauty. So we know the floor is working very well. And then there's a lot of, you can see my blocks of wood for the lift, but you can see we've got this large divider. So basically we've got the front wing. Obviously it's huge, 98 inches. And then we've got a T-tray, second splitter, whatever you want to call it, which flows out side skirts via a pretty simple V-divider. The heim joint attaches to the engine, and it's relatively active aero. I mean, the engine moves very little, but when it does, it pushes the floor up and down. It's pretty cool. And you can see the massive carbon brakes. Basically take up the entire wheel. Those are from RPS, and they're awesome. So at this point, I get to pull the floor off. I may actually change the design of the floor. As of now, the whole floor is 3 pieces. So you got a left and a right panel here, and then the diffuser. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass every time you got to do something with the engine bay to pull the whole floor off. So I'm gonna figure something out. At least pull the front section off so you can work on the damn thing. Otherwise, yeah. I have a lot of fun with aero and water trails, so every time I get this thing in the air I get giddy, especially if there's a wet event. Or if you go too off because the thing is so freaking sloppy to drive because you're smashing the bushings to oblivion. I've already been in this transmission, 5 years ago I think. For some reason, the reverse failed, so I had to replace the reverse gear, so I've been in here before. Let's see how well I drop this thing. Oh. And then see if you can get the shrapnel that's going to come out. Clunk, did you hear that? Shine it down. You gotta gimbal down.
See if we can.
Right there. That's not supposed to be there. Otherwise, the fluid looks really good. I mean, I did do a one lap to get back to the pits afterwards, so I'm expecting the fluid to be somewhat gross, but... So I got the tranny out of the Civic, and first thing we have to do is split the case, which, to be honest, I kind of forgot how. So I'm going to be flipping this thing around for a minute, trying to find my way around it. I replaced reverse gear in this transmission, which randomly failed in 2014, I believe. So it's been 5 years since I've been in here. It's not that difficult, I just don't remember how to do it. Alright, I've been looking around, taking stuff apart. I remember we had to pull out the spring balls or something for all the shifter lever feels. I still have one in there somewhere. I can feel it. Oh, probably right there. So then I'll take that out, and that should drop when I pull this clip. Oops, that's right, my eyeball. Of course it isn't. Alright, I finagled the case apart. Let's see if I can get the thing back together. I have no idea. Alright. Well, let's take a look at the damage. Obviously, I knew the third gear was done. Ooh, that's messy. There it is. So there's that. So basically I'm hoping at this point to pull the shafts off, or pull the full assemblies out and drop the other ones in, but I don't think I'm going to be that lucky. Some cool info. There's the oil pump gear, which makes sure there's oil everywhere inside once the diff spins. Also, I've cleaned out all the shrapnel. You can see here is a magnet. That pretty much saved the rest of the gearbox from that going all over in it. So from here, I'll try to get this stuff out. I'll inspect the other shaft assembly I have. If I can drop it straight in and get this thing back together. Well, I've never actually had a press here, and went to good old-fashioned Harbor Freight and got one today. So this is the other gear set. If you'll notice, it's missing a shaft. Which is there. So I'm going to keep all this as a spare just because. And then basically I'll press everything off that shaft. We'll get the third gear out and swap the third gear. It's an old school lug nut wrench that happens to fit perfectly with the nut there. And for the record, it's righty-loosey, which I found out on the dummy shaft, the spare shaft. I didn't want to break these ones since I wasn't sure if those other shafts, the shafts off the other gear set were good or not. So there's that. Well, from here we're gonna press the whole thing off. moving. All the way through. I have that bucket there to catch anything in case I missed. Basically going to take the top section off that, top section off this. Here's the good third gear. Make sure I don't miss any shims. Here's the bad third gear. Put it all back on. There we go. Okay. Looking more complete. And this is the last one, 6th gear. I'm not going nuts with it because it wasn't nuts to begin with. I just have the main bearing left. Make sure you're straight. Perfect. There we go. Make sure the synchro still works. Yep. Good. I got a full gear set again. Yay, third gear. So now we got these two shafts. Basically, we're going to take the third gear off this, bad third gear off this, and put it on the good one of the other one. disrupting everything. We'll see how that goes. That didn't work. Just using these 4 bolts to put a little bit of tension so I can get the C-clip to seat, considering I only have 2 hands. Shift lever to pick up the secondary stack, which gets the other lined up. Kind of hold it. A little more tension. And when I say tension, I mean hardly anything. I'm not reefing on that whatsoever. Just barely doing that. Come on, Bessie. So close. There you go. Do the rest by hand so you can actually feel how much. Yeah, it's all the way down, all the way around. And let's do it. Well, before we get too far, I want to make sure that all the gears work. And sometimes moving the shaft will get that pop open. Reverse works. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that gear noise earlier, but there was something definitely touching in there. And just rolling it through the gears lightly like that. Got the O-ring to snap right in. So I'll double check that. I'll get all the rest of the bolts in on the case and get this thing back up in the car. It's a cute little bead of silicone all the way around. Going back in. Next stop is Colorado.